Well, hi everybody, hi. It's Mike here with another video on nickels, and I know people are saying to me, hey, when are we going to get back to Banana Man? We will get back to Banana Man when I settle some things here. I want to do one more video on nickels. If you saw my last one and the one before that, I kind of went into the value of the metals inside different coins, particularly a nickel. And I'm very fond of nickels because they are more valuable than their face value. If you use today's spot prices, which by the way I like to look on the Kitco for the spot prices, I just like to follow them. Man, nickel is on a tear, the metal, so is copper. Let's look at a 5-year chart of nickel. It's just a grind upward, and if you're an investor, that gets your attention, but above $9 a pound. And that's really interesting, and I'll talk about a little bit about that later. But what if I told you, like, hey, why don't you keep a whole bunch of your nickels and even keep a whole bunch of them in your basement in rolls? You'd be like, yeah, that's not, you're turning into an old man, Mike. But then what if I told you, hey, what if I could give you an instant 30% return on your money? You'd be like, yeah, YOLO, YOLO. You know, that's what you would probably do. And it does require a little bit of work, but using today's numbers, just a few minutes ago, copper's $4.74 a pound now. Nickel up solidly above $9 a pound. So the part of the nickel, by the way, nickels are Cooper nickel. They're mostly copper. And then, hey, if you ask me, like, how come they don't look like copper? Like brass has the color of copper. I have no earthly idea why Cooper nickel doesn't look more orange like copper. None. Don't know. Not here to explain that at all. What I am here to do is crunch the numbers that if you take 80% of a nickel is copper and the other 20% is shit. I was thinking of pennies. 75%. Don't troll me. And 25%. So back to that. I'm doing this all in one take, gang. 75% of a nickel is copper and 25% of it is nickel. All right. If you take that fraction that is copper and you figure out that a pound is 454 grams, and you multiply that by the price per pound, you find out that the contribution of that value from just the copper is 3.9 cents. From the nickel, which is the other 25%, you find out that that's 2.6 cents. Add it together, a nickel is worth 6.5 cents every coin. If you go grab one of these $2 rolls, right, like you do get them from the bank or you save them on your own, a $2 roll is worth $2.60, right? Like, because 30%, really. So a nickel is worth 30% more than its face value, as based on the value of the metals. They call that melt value. Don't get mad at me calling it melt value. I'm not suggesting that you melt nickels. It's illegal to melt nickels. And nickel and copper, Cooper nickel has a crazy high melting point. Now, one of the arguments in past videos, because these metals spiked about 10 years ago, is that, hey, there's no portability. If you're going to save these, thinking about your future, there's no portability to it, all right? Because, like, what if you got one of these bad boys, right? That's $100 worth of nickels. Actually, it's $130 worth of nickels because of the 30%. It's a pain in the ass to go get them. You got to go bother some bank teller, right? You got to say, hey, can I get a bunch of rolls of nickels? And most of them are very nice and happily will give them to you. But one of the arguments against hoarding, by the way, I don't like the word hoarding of this, because hoarding is something that happens when you, like toilet paper. You're taking something someone needs and cares about. And I don't really think that applies to nickels. And nobody gives a shit about nickels. They don't really care. And as a matter of fact, you might not care about this video right now. You might be watching now. But I care, and people who want to make 30% on their money care, and it's just that it's a pain in the butt, because that $100 of nickels is 50 rolls, and since they're 5 grams each, there's 40 nickels in there. That's 200 grams. And then if you had like 50 rolls times 200 grams, that's 10,000 grams, or that's 10 kilograms, or 22 pounds in this box. And so the lack of portability argument is valid, because this 22 pounds I'm lifting right now, and I just put it down and shook the whole table. And the one video I watched was like, well, you could take $10,000 worth of gold and you could fit it into a grandma's purse. And I agree, that is true. You could take, what would $10,000 be if I took 10,000, that would be, 100 times this. So we call it 2,200 pounds would be what $10,000 in nickels would be. But here's the deal. The worst place to store your wealth is in a grandma's purse. If you put 6 ounces of gold coins in a grandma's purse, someone's going to snatch that purse, and ain't no one going to snatch my nickels, because I don't want portability. I want someone to have a hard time stealing my stuff. If they come into my basement and steal all my nickels and 22, that's going to take numerous trips to the white van in the driveway. So I want someone to hurt their back when they steal my shit. So I don't want portability. I'm happy to just go put nickels in my basement and let them go there forever. And then the argument is, well, how are you going to get rid of them? You're going to sorry, I'm using the voice like of the skeptics, but well, how are you going to get rid of them? Well, frankly, here's what I think is going to happen, is I think the value of copper and nickel will increase as time goes along if this narrative for the electrification of the universe actually happens. That being, if we start driving around not on fossil fuel vehicles, but we start driving EVs, nickel is a very, listen to Elon Musk. If you like Elon Musk, he says that nickel, we're under-nickeled as a society. We need more production of nickel if we're going to make all these batteries. It's a very key metal. Not to mention, in wiring, copper is absolutely important. So these are very key metals for the electrification of society. Finally, what's going to happen, I think? Just like it did with pennies. Why are pennies made out of mostly zinc now? Well, the copper, the value of that outpaced the value of the face value by a lot. And so it takes the mint, the government mint is losing a lot of money minting nickels. And eventually, like in Canada, they're actually nickel-plated steel to make them cheaper. And I think that's going to happen. And like it did with pennies, what happened is, if you can find a pre-1982 penny, which by the way is where I Freudian slipped, whoopsie, I was thinking about pre-1982 pennies, which are 80% copper, then what's going to happen is you're going to find out that those nickels are going to be of some value. And then when they stop minting them someday and they say, look, physical coins are going to be a thing of the past, then they'll be more valuable, because when they stop making something, it becomes more valuable. So I think the future of the nickel coin is a very good one. And so I get on a couple groups, and these cats are showing off that they bought like ingots of copper. And I'm like, why are you buying ingots of copper? Because there's a premium to that. When you do it, you go to one of the online, bullion dealers, and they're cute to get copper bars and stuff, but they cost more than spot price by a large margin, sometimes two times. So if you want to, stack away some copper, hold on to your nickels or go get you some nickels. Now, it is embarrassing because you're going to inconvenience a bank teller when you say, hey, can I have like 40 of these or something? And then you make up a story to make the bank teller feel good, like, well, I'm making a bar top, or I'm a math teacher doing a statistics experiment with my students, or I don't know. Make up your own story. I'm just here to give you numbers. You're the one that needs to make up your story to make you seem less obnoxious to the bank teller. Or just tell them that you're going to hoard them in your basement. No, you're not going to hoard them. You're going to save them. That is my presentation on why I'm so obsessed with nickels. And I'm going to go and hopefully not hurt my back and put this box, $100 box back with my other ones. I'm not going to tell you how many I got. I'm still working on my collection. And even though I just kind of said that you'd hurt your back if you came and stole them, you'd have to go up a flight of stairs. I'll give you that. Why am I got to go. Bye.